Have you ever got to that point where you just felt like giving up? It's like no matter how hard you try, things just don't seem to be working out. Maybe it's a job, a relationship, passion project, or even YouTube. I think we all get there at some point. That moment where we ask ourselves, is this even worth it? And the truth is, sometimes it's not. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away and start over. But other times, quitting is the only thing standing between you and the life you've been working so hard for. So today let's talk about the difference between when to let go and when to hold on. And I want to share 3 stories about 3 people who were right there on the edge. They chose to keep going. The first story, I feel like a lot of you might already know. It's about Sylvester Stallone. Before Rocky, he was a broke, struggling actor searching for his big break. It got so bad he had to sell his dog for $40 just to get by. But then everything changed. One night, he went to a boxing match between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner. And the fight inspired him to write Rocky. He got in a creative flow for 3 straight days, and after he was done, the script for Rocky had come to life. He also wrote the starring role for himself because he knew he had something special. So he started shopping it around and he found a studio that loved it so much they wanted to buy it. But the catch was, they didn't love him. They didn't want him in the movie because they wanted a famous actor instead. Stallone at this point, he was a nobody. And they didn't want to take a chance on a guy that no one knew. But they really wanted the script. They wanted it so bad, they even tried offering him $360,000 for it. Think about that. At this point in time, this guy was dead broke. $360,000 was life-changing money. For him to say no seemed crazy, but he believed in this movie so much that he turned it down and he said that the script and him were a package deal. He stuck to his guns, and eventually they agreed to let this no-name actor star in the movie, and it became a massive hit. He even won the Oscar for the Best Picture that year, which led to him becoming a household name. There's not a lot of people who'd have the guts to gamble with fate the way that he did, but it paid off. And he even bought his dog back with the money that he made. Next, I want to tell you about Vera Wang. She had a dream too, but it's probably not the one you're thinking of. Before she became one of the most successful fashion designers in the world, she was a competitive figure skater. She spent years of her life training, pushing herself, trying to make it into the Olympics. But it didn't matter how hard she worked, no matter how much she chased that dream, she never quite made the cut, which must have been pretty soul-crushing. Eventually, she had to let that dream go. And for a while, she thought that was it. She got into journalism and became an editor at Vogue, which is still a pretty big deal, and she spent 15 years of her life there. At that point, she'd accepted that that was where she was meant to be. But when she was passed over for a promotion that she really wanted, she realized maybe that wasn't her path either. So at 40 years old, an age where a lot of people, including myself, are really scared to start over, she decided to take a risk. She designed her own bridal dress and realized that she had a passion for it, which led to her starting her own bridal fashion business. Today, Vera Wang is one of the biggest names in fashion. Her story proves that one failed dream doesn't mean you're finished. It just means it's time for a new one. And the last story I want to share is about Steven Spielberg. Did you know that Steven Spielberg was rejected from film school not once, not twice, but 3 times? Think about that. One of the greatest directors of our time, who made movies like Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park, couldn't even get into film school. But he wasn't going to let that stop his dream. Instead of waiting for permission, he stuck into a Universal Studios lot, pretended that he worked there, and started learning on his own. Then one day he met a studio executive, gave him a short film that he had made, and they were so blown away by it that it landed him his first real opportunity in Hollywood. No degree, no credentials, just raw talent and persistence. Which is the same way I got into the music industry back in the day. I snuck into a Kendrick Lamar concert with a camera and a fake media pass, and I just started filming. That video got the attention of the right people and started creating opportunities for me. So sometimes you don't need permission or validation, you just need to believe in yourself enough to take the shot. So what do these stories tell us? They tell us that feeling like giving up is normal, that rejection, failure, and setbacks, they're all just part of the process. But something I got out of Vera Wang's story is that not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes quitting isn't failure, and there's wisdom in knowing when to pivot. I think the key is knowing why you're giving up. Are you quitting because it's not truly right for you? Or are you quitting because it's hard? Are you walking away because you don't want this anymore? Or because you're afraid of failing again? The truth is, success is more about persistence than it is about talent. It's about being willing to keep going when everybody else would have stopped. So if you're feeling like giving up on something right now, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, is this truly the end? Or is this just the part where most people would stop and you decide to keep going? And I'll be honest, I hope you guys get something out of this video, but I'm making it for me too. But if you liked it, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and share it with a friend that you think could get something out of it. Bye guys.